month of May traditionally has been dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary, but it is also Mental Health Awareness Month, and our next guest says the two go hand in hand. Joining us now is Allison Ricciardi, founder and president of CatholicTherapist.com. Allison, good to see you. Welcome back. Mental Health Awareness Month, as we said, coincides with a traditional commitment to devotions to Our Lady during the month of May. Can you tell us about the significance there?
Sure. Well, who could be more emotionally healthy than Mary? And I think with what everybody's been going through, and we've been very reactive because of all the fear and all the, propaganda out there. What did Mary do? She pondered things in her heart. She didn't react. She pondered things. And I think that's something that we could all really learn from, to ponder in our hearts, to listen, get in touch with our hearts. What is our gut telling us? Because, a lot of things are not adding up today. And if we take that time in prayer and listening, we're going to be a lot healthier.
Absolutely. And also, I want to talk about our parishes. They're a source of both spiritual and social support. And after such an isolating time for all of us, what type of advice would you give those who are struggling to sort of reintegrate themselves into their faith communities? And can you also talk about the benefits of attending Mass in person?
Yeah, tremendous benefit there. I know a lot of people have been very afraid. Obviously, when COVID hit last year, there were a lot of unknowns. But what we've seen over the last year is that there's a 99% survival rate. So we've been through cold and flu season before. So I think that we need to make a conscious decision to not be afraid, to kind of say, I'm going back. Obviously be reasonable, take your precautions, particularly if you've got, compromised health or immunity. But I think we need to reconnect. We need to see faces if we can not wear the masks and be able to smile at one another. I think people have been so isolated and almost dehumanized that it's causing like this lack of empathy. So to make that decision to not be afraid, to choose faith over fear, and again, not being reckless, but being careful, washing your hands, doing all the, the normal precautions, but to recognize we've been through, cold and flu season before. And most people without treatment, there's a 99% survival rate, and there are treatments available. So I think, returning to Mass, there's certainly a big difference between receiving Jesus and doing a spiritual communion. Now, thank God we can do a spiritual communion, but obviously it's not the same thing. So I think that spending time in front of the Blessed Sacrament, if you're too afraid to go to Mass where there are a lot of people, maybe start going into the church during the day and sit in front of the Blessed Sacrament. If you're lucky enough to have exposition of the Blessed Sacrament, what a great way to just start really calming down, to be in the presence of Christ, and to ask Him to just renew your faith and take away that fear, because we need to start coming out of this. We need to start reclaiming our freedom, and we need to start reclaiming our faith. And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I know you founded CatholicTherapist.com kind of as a way to help connect people with faith-based mental health resources. Can you talk about maybe the daily practices that you suggest to your patients in order to keep their spirits up? And are there some resources that you could kind of recommend to other people?
Sure. First of all, spending time in silence every day. We have a lot bombarding us. Turn off the news, turn off, not EWTN news, but turn off, all this stuff that's coming at us, and start spending time reading scripture, doing the daily Mass readings if you can't get to Mass, certainly praying the Rosary. I do have a free report on the RaphaelRemedy.com, 8 Keys to Emotional and Spiritual Freedom. And, pivoting back to CatholicTherapist.com, everyone there is screened for faithful adherence to the magisterium of the Church. And most are working online today because of everything that's gone on. So it's easier than ever to connect with somebody who shares your faith and is going to be able to bring that perspective, because, God is our ultimate healer and He's our ultimate hope. And I look at, I think of Holy Saturday, what a terrible day that had to be. And yet it was followed by Easter Sunday. And I think we're all kind of, in Holy Saturday, in fear, hiding, not sure what to do or what's coming at us. But, when it gets to that point, that usually means that we're about to turn a corner. And we have to have faith and hope, because at Fatima, and we're celebrating that feast next week, Mary promised that her Immaculate Heart would triumph. So that you can take it to the bank. And that's been my hope going through this whole thing. As things seem to get darker in terms of all what we see, you know, in terms of government control and everything, Mary told us her heart will triumph. And we need to trust in that. That's super, super important.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's wonderful. Before we let you go, we're running out of time, but I want to bring this up. Of course, you know, Mother's Day is this Sunday, and I was hoping that you might share a memory of a mother who's special to all of us here, our foundress, Mother Angelica.
Oh, I mean, Mother Angelica, what strikes me about Mother, especially as so many people are transitioning and trying to kind of reinvent themselves, maybe they've lost jobs, their businesses have closed. Mother Angelica started EWTN at 58 years old with no media experience, with no technical experience. It is never too late to reinvent yourself, to have faith, but to listen to that calling on your heart. And certainly, I mean, Mother changed the world. I mean, think about, you know, the impact that she has had. And she did that out of a maternal desire to nurture the faith in others. So I think as we celebrate Mother's Day, we celebrate Mother Angelica, and I think we need to celebrate that God always, always has a plan, and whatever is going on, He will bring good if we're looking for it. If we're only looking at the negative, we're going to be very nervous. We need to look at the positive, and we need to have hope. And I think that was Mother's message, was hope in Jesus.
Yeah, beautiful. Allison, thank you so much. Thank you for what you do and for coming on and speaking with us today. We really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. God bless you.